Good Monday morning, everybody. Today is April 19th, and I am your principal, Mr. Mosier, with the announcements for this morning. I have been out of the building a little bit lately, and the reason for that is that my wife and I have a new baby daughter named Hazel. That is Hazel. She was born on April 6th. And then that is her sister, Ellie, who will be 3 in June. So if you've noticed that I've been out of the building a little bit lately, it has been to help my wife as we have a new addition to our family and to the Middle School North family. Some birthdays for over the weekend and then for today. So we had Tijuana Wilder, Connor Buck, Tyler Daner, and Samuel Lopez all having birthdays either over the weekend or today. So happy birthday to all of you. Some student shout outs. We have one student shout out for today. It's for Michael DeVore for being aware of his emotions, thinking before acting, and removing himself from a situation before it escalated. Self-control is hard. I see you. That's from Ms. Hecky. Great job, Michael. One of the things that is important for us as we are middle school students and we grow and we become high school students in the future is recognizing our emotions and being able to respond appropriately to those emotions. So that's awesome, Michael. Great job. Also, staff shout out. This is a huge shout out from Miss Hecky to Miss LeMaster for being creative in her teaching, a leader in the classroom, and so helpful this year. The students and I will miss you so much. Thank you for all that you have done. And I believe that today is Miss LeMaster's last day. So Miss Hecky students, make sure that you send your well wishes to Miss LeMaster as she heads off from her student teaching experience. Remember, you can send shout outs or questions to either myself or to Mr. Bryson. All right. And then our last thing for this portion of the announcements is band. If you are interested in middle school band for next year, go to groveportmadisonbands.org and you can sign up. So from my understanding, students, is that last week, our first week back from spring break, there were a couple students who seemed to really struggle with some of our expectations. So I want to reiterate those expectations and kind of set a refresher. I know that we were gone for a week over spring break, and maybe you've forgotten some of the things that we expect you to do here at Middle School North. So I want to go over those with you. It's only a few things, and then talk about the consequences that go with those if you choose not to follow our expectations. So first thing I want to talk about is hoods, and I pulled this is directly from the student handbook 3A portion, which is our dress code. And it specifically says hooded articles of clothing are permissible only if hoods are down. So that goes for if you've got a hoodie or a jacket or whatever the case may be where it has a hood. You are not to wear hoods up in the building. If you have a hat, you can wear a hat. If you've got a do-rag you want to wear, you can wear that. You cannot wear your hood up. At this point, students, you've been reminded several times. You're getting another reminder today. I'm just being honest with you. If you continue to wear your hood, we are going to write an office referral for you. We will start with a lunch detention, and we will move on to a day of AC or even suspension if necessary. This is not really about the hoods. The hoods are a minor thing in our dress code. At this point, the issue is you refusing to follow directions. So if you have your hood on in our building at any point from 8:10 to 2:50, you will get an office referral. So if you have your hood on now in class, I recommend you take it off because you are refusing to follow directions if you have your hood on at any point throughout the day. So again, don't be upset if you get an office referral for having your hood on. You've been given several warnings, including this one now, about our dress code. Additionally, cell phones. This is also from the student handbook. This is part 4A on electronic devices. It says student use of pagers, beepers. I don't know how many of you guys have pagers or beepers, but I think this part is maybe a little bit outdated. Cellular telephones and other electronic communication devices, including lookalike devices for receiving and or transmitting messages, is prohibited during school time unless authorized by a staff member. So again, from 8:10 to 2:50, those electronic devices need to be turned off and they need to be kept in your bag. I don't want them in your pocket. I don't want you with them on in your bag. They need to be turned off and in your bag. No negotiables. I've directed staff to confiscate cell phones if they see them out. So again, don't be upset when your phone gets taken away because you're not following our guidelines. And the last one is masks. And this comes from our Responsible Restart Guide, page 24, on personal protective equipment. All students and staff are required to wear a mask while on school property and while on a school bus. This is probably the most important of all of these expectations because it's a health and safety thing. So once again, students, you are expected to have your mask on over your nose at all times unless you are directed by a staff member to do differently. So when you're eating your food at lunch, yes, you can take your mask off then. But pretty much any other time, your mask should be on unless a staff member gives you the okay to take it off. This is a health and safety issue, and I've directed our staff to submit office referrals for students who are not wearing their masks correctly. So once again, don't be upset if you get an office referral. You've been given several warnings, including this one right here on the announcement. So those three things are cell phones, our hoods, and the wearing of masks. Students, you've been given several redirections about those things. From this point forward, they are going to be office referrals if you refuse to follow our expectations. All right, be a pro today. Positivity, respectfulness, and taking ownership for your environment and your actions will lead you to not only have a successful day, but also to have a successful life. Have a great one, and as always, it is great to be a cruiser.